Hello, and welcome to Depth Perception. We discuss movies and dive into how films direct the way we experience them. We create a perception of sound, a perception of sight, with a dimension of mind. We move into a land of both shadow and substance, of themes and ideas. I am your host, Mr. Vosley, and in opposite order, we have K-Max.
Hey, it feels good to be number one today, baby.
And across from him, he is the TinMan.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Well, it sounds like he didn't get a heart with this one. This was our last shot, guys. I don't think we did it. Episode 19. 19? My goodness.
My, oh my.
The 1995 movie, directed by Chris Noonan, written by Noonan and George Miller, based on, let me make sure I put some spaces in this name, Dick Kingsmith's novel, The Sheep Pig. It's Babe.
Babe.
So, I'd like to think we have some flow to our episodes here, and the last few episodes, going from our horror's versatility, kind of gave way to the thought of seeing things from a different perspective, or a movie forcing some lenses for you to wear to see certain topics. So we had Skinamarink, and then we had Alien, and both gave us different ways of seeing things. You know, we had a good amount of abuse in each of those, and it forced audiences that may not be aware or familiar with those, and kind of made them experience it, almost through a first-person point of view here. So we shifted gears to last week's episode, which was Upon Further Review, and we've kind of done the same thing, but through through nicer movies. So today is another step towards that, and the idea behind watching Babe was that this was a movie that seemed to be all about either changing perception or seeing things from a different point of view, or, like we said, quote, upon further review. So after you've had a chance to look at things and think about things, maybe you think differently about a situation. And to me, that's all about Babe right there. So we'll move into first impressions. Who wants to go first?
You know, I'm going to stay with the theme of me going first again.
Do it.
Because I like it. It just feels like home. It feels nice. I feel young again. So my first time watching it was probably right off the bat in 95. I imagine I was probably still in undergrad. I could say that for about 10 years. I was still working in undergrad.
They're called doctors.
Yeah, right. I know. A lot of people go to school that long. They're called doctors. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much as a family-friendly and lighthearted movie. And as we know on this podcast, that's right in my wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. Give me something that is easily digestible, that is pleasing to the eye, that is kind of easy to follow, and there's no really, really intense, heavy drama, if I can at all help it. Some drama is unavoidable, and it makes the story wonderful. So this had that, but it was very, it felt a bit hokey in some ways, though, because the animals and some of the animatronics and some of the, it was kind of groundbreaking stuff, but when they talked and spoke and things like that, it was, I think the first time I watched it was, wow, this is really groundbreaking stuff. And it was almost like distracting how different it was to me with that kind of stuff, that kind of effect.
The first time you watched it? Or?
The first time I watched it. I couldn't relate to the characters a little bit because I was distracted by them for the first at least half of the movie. And it wasn't until I started seeing them as a little bit more personification, I think they're characters, that I was able to relate a little bit more to them. But I remember being impressed with James Cromwell's performance right from the word go, because he doesn't say as much. He doesn't say as much as you think he says. He's very much just a pivot point. Like I'm giving you this look here. I am this person here, and I am present. And because I just thought after watching it, wow, yeah, he definitely deserves an Oscar. He was great. And I'm thinking, watch it a couple times after that, and I thought he doesn't say that much at all. And then watching it now,
Yeah.
like I feel like there's meaningful lines, but not nearly as many as I thought that he had said.
I guess he almost turned the movie down.
Really?
Initially, because he only had like 16 lines of dialogue, and he wasn't going to take the job.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked it. I really liked it at first sight. It was just a little bit hard to relate at first, just because of the new technology, I think. And it's a bit like reading Animal Farm in English class or in social studies class in high
And then
school.
seeing it.
It's hard to relate to them at first, but once you do, sometimes the allegory is a little bit better than the actual. The metaphor is actually better than the reality because it drives the point home better. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe that's what I saw the second time. Well, I won't get to that part yet, though.
Okay. All right. Initial reaction. So the first time I saw this movie, probably around 95 also, but I remember none of it. like I seeing the farm, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I remember hearing jokes about the pig in the city, the second one. I think it was on The Simpsons. They made a joke about it. Like, Millhouse, you forgot to return, babe, pig in the city. Or so, but I don't remember watching it at all. I definitely saw it, but I have no memory of it whatsoever.
Was that the time that you lost your heart?
It was gone after. It was made of tin from then on.
It was then that it was galvanized.
But I watched it. It must have been 2 days ago now. That was my.
And we'll go into that then.
Yeah.
Wow, first impression. None.
yeah.
None impression.
It exists, but I can't bring any of it back.
Okay, fair enough. I know I still have movies like that, like I may have seen a couple months ago, and you asked me what it was about. I'm like, I remember this scene.
Yeah. Yep. No.
So my first impression, so I would have been like 7 when it came out. And I do remember watching it at home as well. Like I don't actually know if I saw it in theaters, but I remember we had the VHS of it. But I remember I recognized that it was a good movie, but I didn't always feel like watching it. And I think it was because it would get too deep emotionally, and it was too heavy to just put in and watch as a kid. So especially like the opening scene kind of paints it as this one pig got lucky that he wasn't picked to go to market. Mm-hmm. And so realizing that and then seeing how innocent this pig was, as a kid, it kind of started things off in a rough state of mind, I guess. Like how do I take this? Is this a lucky pig? Is this a good pig? What about the brothers and sisters that he just lost everyone? Like, how do I take this? And, but then for the rest of the movie also, I recognized how much the kindness of this pig stood out and the innocence of Babe. And I recognized that it was showing us how important it was to be able to act with kindness and do the right thing. But then I couldn't handle seeing the trials and tribulations that path came with throughout the movie. And there weren't that many, but the ones that did happen felt deep emotionally for a kid to comprehend, I think. So I know we discussed it very early on in our set of episodes about having like the vocabulary to express how we feel about certain things. And I think that when I watched it as a kid, I didn't have the emotional vocabulary to know what I was looking at and hearing. So I think that was my first impression.
Man, I don't want to interrupt, but the minute is a huge thing for kids right there altogether. Is this, anything that's remotely traumatic, becomes increasingly more traumatic when you can't articulate yourself and even categorize what you're feeling.
Right. Emotional maturity
You get
to handle
Yeah.
this pig who's done nothing to no one,
That's it.
having to carry weight or to endure something negative that should not have occurred if it were fair.
Well, even as Vaz was talking, I was thinking to myself myself at 7, because when you guys put those date stamps and time stamps on things, I'm like, gosh, I'm old. He's like, I was 7. I'm like, okay,
That's enough, Bosley.
right. Okay, I'm ancient. But like, I think I was picturing you as a kiddo and just thinking of the idea of that. Just to think, wait a minute, this whole mom and dad, family slaughtered, and I'm the lucky one. That doesn't feel lucky to me.
Right.
As a little kid, you hear you're lucky, you're like, wait, that doesn't feel lucky.
And it was also like you knew something about Babe that Babe didn't know. And you knew that pigs were for eating, but this innocent little pig didn't know that about herself. It's voiced by a woman, but I always
I thought it was a he.
It's got nipples.
Oh, it does.
I got nipples for you. Milk me.
Hold on. Let me see what Google says. I'm still listening.
I always
voiced
wondered
by a
that too.
woman.
It was
because I knew it was voiced
woman.
by a woman, and I was like, wait, because in my notes, whenever I refer, I say he all the time. So it's
I felt the same thing growing up. I just kind of thought it was a boy pig, but then, like, it definitely had 2 sets of nipples going.
Yeah.
Right now, they say, well, the first search says it's a composite character where it doesn't or it's supposed to not specifically gender. Babe, so.
It definitely makes you feel that way. I think it you could relate to it as a boy or
Yeah, it doesn't make
if you were watching it as a boy or if you were watching it as a girl, you could relate to this pig.
Maybe that's why I thought it was a boy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's all of our perceptions as
I
3 grown
identify
men.
as he, him. Yeah.
So he or she, I'm going to say she. I think Babe was a girl. But either way, we knew this thing about this pig that the pig didn't know. So that's another depth of emotion right there to know this pig is doomed from its very existence, being born in a pig farm, slaughterhouse, whatever it is. And so to start off with that burden, it was kind of heavy as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But so how do you guys feel about it now? The movie.
Well, I mean, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I understand the characters and relate more to them now. Their struggle to find their place, and some of them in super unique ways. I relate to that a lot. Because at 52, I still feel like I don't know what I want to do. Do I want to be a teacher? Do I want to be a barber? Do I want to write? Do I want to act? Do I want to... Yes, the answer is yes, and then some. You struggle to find your place is still, I think there's an uneasiness if you have ambition and you have dreams, and you don't allow them to be crushed or quelled, and you still have them. You'll always struggle to find your place. Kind of like, is this where I'm supposed to be? Is this how I fit? Is this how I fit in my community? Is this how I fit at my place where I work? Is this where I fit in my family? Is this my role, or is there a different role? And I relate more to that now, being older and having more experience of life than I did at 12. No, when I saw it. But when I was younger, when I was at least 30 years, 25, 30 years younger.
Just a quick interjection there, because I feel like maybe we'll get to discuss this movie at some point, but Nightmare Before Christmas is kind of hitting the same wavelength for me, where what you're presenting me is possibly far too complex emotionally or intellectually for a child to understand, and they may fit more of an adult mind. Almost what you're talking about exactly, with identity and where do I fit in, fulfillment and all that. So I think it's pretty interesting that a lot of child movies seem to do that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you look at. I mean, I like that you said it because I just watched that during Halloween. It's one of my favorites. Jack is just miserable at the beginning. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm stuck in this rut. Reminds me of your Mr. Incredible. This is where I'm at. This is my lot, and I know I should be okay with this. And okay, I guess I am okay with this, but I'm just finishing this up just to get ready to start doing the exact same thing again.
It's Wreck-It Ralph.
And he's like, there's a bell that needs to be rung, and I'm not sure where that bell is, and there's an uneasiness there. And I think I like Babe this time around more because I could relate more to that struggle. And then finally, my impression this time was I was even more impressed with Cromwell and his role, his vulnerability with the little dance and the song. And after seeing now how his career's unfolded and some of the roles he's been in, and some of them very serious, and the different roles, and then to go back to that role in Babe and see him doing a little jig and singing this little vulnerable song, kind of proving his affection for the pig. I think to myself, I told you guys before, my example was probably awful. Sam Jackson playing Othello is something. Mm-hmm. Sam Jackson, Snakes on a Plane, it's impressive, but it's expected. Mm-hmm. That's what I felt about this role. I'm like, wow, that was impressive to be that vulnerable. And I thought that's cool. So I, good first impression. After further review, I like it even more because I guess I can see a little bit more depth in the characters and their struggle.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. As my
Your
second
your
viewing,
second,
kind of
your
my
second first impression.
Yeah, second first impression. When I first walked in before Chris got here, he was like, "So," and I'm like, "Eh," and he's like, "You don't have a heart."
I asked TinMan. I said, "Well, did you get a heart after this? After watching
I'm
this
not
one?"
the Grinch. It does
And
not.
he
grow
just
three
went,
eyes really big. No. I don't want to.
Gave me a thumbs
I'm not
down.
I did give him a thumbs
with
down
the raspberry.
And there are followers of the podcast that are just Tin Man fans, and they'll be like, "Yeah, stay strong."
Everyone thinks I don't care what everyone thinks. I thought it was a well done movie. I don't know if it's motivation or drive or conflict that's kind of missing, but it felt like it was, I don't know, it didn't feel like it was driven enough. I don't know what it is. I don't even know how to describe it, but I thought it was well placed. I really liked how the farm looked and was set up. Very idyllic. I guess it was filmed in Australia. Cromwell looks exactly like a farmer who lived there would look, just with the long sideburns and the hat. I'm just like, oh, that is
like a Norman Rockwell.
Yes, very much Norman Rockwell.
Like
that is a.
If you
farmer.
showed someone a picture of that farm and you told someone draw the farmer, that's
exactly what they would draw.
Right.
Yep, that couldn't have been more perfect.
And even the wife, okay, draw his wife.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you got. And how does she
James
speak? And that's how she spoke.
I'm glad James said that because man, oh man, if we went without mentioning how beautiful it was shot, how pretty each little frame
it was
looked.
very, very well, well set. Very well set. Some of the animals were funny. The duck was pretty funny. The duck had its Ferdinand.
Christmas means
garbage. Is he trying to crow like a rooster before he's like, I need to get that mechanical rooster. We got to get him. It had its moments, and I enjoyed it. I did enjoy my way through it. I don't know. There's something about it where I was like,
Not enough machine guns, probably.
Not enough machine guns. They didn't kill if there was some dead pigs, I'd be like,
There's a dead sheep.
No. We call them pigs when they're alive. It's pork when they're dead. Oh, that's right. Pork when you eat them. What about chicken? Bacon.
Chicken's going to be chicken.
Chicken's going to be chicken.
That is its identity.
You don't have purpose. Purposeless animals are for eating.
I love that the evilest character was a cat. Mm-hmm. I'm not a cat person.
Oh, it was a grumpy cat. That was
evil velociraptor eye.
Yep. Just fat, face. That is grumpy cat all across the board. Mm-hmm. Stupid cat.
So my feelings about it now. At first, I did not know that it was nominated for 7 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Supporting Actor. I think that this movie is actually pretty important for today, and it's crazy that a film can be so good yet so universal in message, i.e., kindness and respect.
Yeah.
And I'm, after kind of thinking about it, I'm realizing that not many movies today include such themes. Even, quote, like kid movies, the themes are not focused on just being better people, Right when I was a kid, I don't think I had the emotional maturity, vocabulary, lens, etc., to fully analyze it. But watching it now and being able to see these themes and look into it a little bit more, definitely more of an appreciation for it. And I think there's a few movies that will tug on my heartstrings. Coco's one of them, and Babe is actually one of them. And later on I'll reveal what parts of Babe get to me. But
Nice.
But that's how I feel about it now, and it's pretty interesting. I kind of had like family movie night a couple nights ago to watch it for the first time, and my daughter's 7 now.
Oh.
So I'm pretty much able to see. It's like a weird time warp thing. Like I remember how I was first watching it, and I'm seeing her watch it. And she's much more mature than I was at that age. But she loves it. She watched it a second and third time. And she understands a lot of the things. Like she talks about, the pig's purpose and comparing that to like what happens and everything. So it's pretty cool to see her connect it a little bit better than I was willing to.
What a blessing, though. What is such a cool experience to watch your kiddo at your age when you first watched it. That's pretty awesome.
All right, so next, let's...
I wanted to add something.
Oh, okay.
So, because I don't know how to put into I don't have the vocabulary.
The emotional vocabulary?
To try to understand. I'm still working through this because I wrote down notes following through the story and didn't really have time to reflect on
I think
it. So,
the,
like hearing
the line
you guys...
you're looking for is, if I only had a heart.
Well, what sets me back is your character, your main character, doesn't have like growing moments to change and adapt to become something that it needs to at the end of the story. He just, I'll be nice and dumb and then solve the problem for everyone. I'm nice and I get it's tough, but I'm dumb and nice. And so by the end of it, I'm nice to the Rams and everyone. He does kind of change everyone's perspective around him. He does upset the status quo. And I think even one of the chapters, the first chapter is called The Way Things Are. Mm-hmm. So they're very set in their ways. No, it is just because that's how it is.
Yeah.
Him being him. I'm referring to him as him. Babe being just generally nice and sweet all the time kind of changes that with the people around him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like learn to use it or grow from it. He just stays nice. And by the end of it, people are doing things for him because he's so nice that the dog figures out what the code word is. Mm-hmm. Bah, ram you. Tell the rest of the sheep. So he tells the sheep and then they win the contest. Mm-hmm. Just because he's nice. Does he deserve it because he's nice? Maybe. I don't know.
If that strategy doesn't work, I'm screwed.
Well, but he doesn't become smarter at it. He's not growing as a character. He's just a positive, like, little light for this story.
I see.
And I think that's what kind of like, not that it's bad, because it's clear that it's nominated for awards. Everyone really likes it. But for me, I kind of feel like he's like being carried by the story. Mm. Him being this thing isn't like...
So yeah, I think
he's not an active, like he is, but he's kind of haphazardly activating everybody to motivate them and move the story. But he's not like becoming wiser, becoming better, becoming like the hero. He's kind of just, well, I'll just be nice. And
I almost feel like he's Forrest Gump.
Dopey. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
To me, that's what it feels like.
So, but he's had his moments though.
Yeah, that's true.
I think, well, I mean, I feel like it's the exact opposite.
See, then yeah.
So, I mean, to me, if I could, so you said the story carries Babe, but I feel like Babe is livening each relationship as he or she goes along. Where everything was stagnant, where it's this is what I do, this is it, day in day out. Babe comes along and says, you know, here's myself, here's what I can do. I'm just being me, I'm being kind, and then things start to change from people that meet Babe.
Much like the environment it was filmed in. Sounds idyllic, but it seemed a little unrealistic. Other than the pigs and animals talking to each other and having a brain.
Sticking on your idea that Babe was being carried through the story, though. So everything started to change when Babe entered along.
Yeah.
So if Babe weren't there, it would just be the same thing day in, day out. No improvement between the wolves and the sheep or the farmer.
No, I'm not saying that it wouldn't have changed without Babe being there. It absolutely did. But it's not because of Babe's actions. It's just because Babe is that. And it kind of... Like, Babe had no, like, if I do this, I could get them to like them. If I can convince this person, if I'm this good, or if I can do this, we can move this story. Like, there's no planning. It's just like a good person that just changed everything around them, and everything worked out perfect because they're just good people, like a good person.
So Babe does get hurt, both physically and emotionally. When the cat says, "Oh yeah, people eat," even the boss eats pigs.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, he's talking to Ma, and she says, "Oh yeah, the fly's the worst one. She's the most brutal of all of them, all the wolves."
Yeah, she calls them wolves the whole time. Yeah.
And he or she goes and kind of lays low, kind of like, "Oh, I just said I was going to call this dog my mom, and I find out that she's been brutalizing these sheep all this time. Like, I don't know how I'm going to move on." And to me, it's this character having an impact on other characters, forcing them to change to help Babe. So Fly came in and started licking Babe and showed Babe love. And so I got a couple different ways of thinking about it. So to me, everyone's understanding of one another is, we'll say, at level 1. And then Babe comes along, does something, and those relationships improve to level 2. Mm-hmm. And something else happens, and they improve to level 3.
Yeah.
And then you have Rex at the end improving, almost based on example, because he's I'm assuming he's neutered, but I don't. No, he wasn't neutered. He just got the shot, and he was chained up.
That's right.
Sick, yeah.
But he was forced to just watch and see the impact that Babe was making on the boss, on all the other animals, just by even example. If you want to say that Babe wasn't doing anything, at least by example, was showing everyone else how better things could be if you just took some time to be kind and try to understand one another. So that was my thought.
I love it.
I agree.
I want to say that I think you're both, again, me being me, I think you're both absolutely right, which sounds weird right now because they sound like two different directions. But I think that I almost feel like a Gandhi moment, not from me, but stealing someone's line here. But it's like this, that love and authenticity can change the world. And someone says, how naive. And someone says, I would venture that it's the only thing that ever has. So the driving force that Babe brings to the table is just him being authentically Babe.
Yeah.
And that is the force in this film. I think to your point, yeah, he doesn't do anything like heroic or extraordinary, and I think that's the point. But I also think that the message, to me, the message was a very common, you know what I mean?
Let's just move right into message then.
Oh, wait, perfect.
Theme and why. K-Max. Continue.
Very common. So I guess my theme is finding your way, right? And then so his way is just by being authentic and real, and this is me. Maybe I should be this way. Maybe I should be more heroic. Maybe I should be a little bit more bitter. Maybe I should be a little bit more critical because I'm on this conveyor belt that leads to the butcher shop. I am bacon. And I mean, there's a nice little metaphor for us as people. Like, if someone operates the fact that I'm just dust, there's a humbleness that comes to that, right? There's a groundedness that comes with that. If I operate from the point that I came from the dirt, I'm going to return to the dirt, and I'm going to, I got a hyphen to live here between the dates of when I was born and when I'm going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Then someone that lives there saying, all I have is one life and I'm going to live it. I'm going to find myself. I'm going to go on this great adventure, this great journey between A and B. And man, I'm going to fill that up because life is for the living. Then you have someone that says, I have to endure this life. So I got my birth date, my death date, and I got to just survive and make this work. Babe, for my theme is, he doesn't get all the data right away. He's just kind of naively going through, and it's not until that idiot, is it Duchess?
Duchess.
That
Yeah.
nasty old kitty cat.
Yeah.
I like cats too. I like dogs and cats, but the cat that was played. I mean, it's just such a perfect attitude of saying, "Well, just raining on the parade."
Well,
and just seriously like pulling back the curtain and saying, "Yeah, look, there's no real wizard here." And in fact, he's the biggest perpetrator of all. Is just heartbreaking, kind of, and really breaks poor old Babe to a point where Babe's like, "I'm not eating anymore. I'm not doing it anymore."
Right.
So like that was like to me like the ultimate like action that was taken, that Babe's goodness and authenticity pulled that action out of Duchess and drove the story forward, but also drove, I mean, I guess it even drove the farmer into proving his love, proving his authenticity himself. So to me, it was like authenticity breeds authenticity. It's like Babe's like, all right, I got hit with too much reality right now. I am just me. I am vulnerable. I am able to be hurt. My heart's right out there on my sleeve. I've shown it to everybody, and look at what happened to me. I got it crushed here. And then the only thing that was able to kind of bring Babe back was the farmer being equally as vulnerable and saying, I'm going to bottle feed you. I'm going to sing you a song, and I'm going to do a little dance for you. What is it? What's more vulnerable than a peach? It's like, that's as vulnerable as it gets for that farmer. And it brings him around. You see him, he runs off. By the end of the song, he's out eating. He's back to eating again.
And it's the only time the farmer appears happy.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything else is work. Even at the end when he's doing the competition, it's just straight faced. And even when they win it, there's no jumping around for joy. The only time he jumped for joy was during that scene where he's comforting Babe.
So I mean, that's mine. Is I like the way I phrased it. Finding your way, your way. So his wasn't a traditional route, but his way was through. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be authentic, and that's how I'm going to leave my mark. And that's what I learned. If I had to learn a lesson from it, that's what I learned from Babe. Is even if I'm not right where I want, or I'm still restless or uneasy, career-wise, or even where I fit in life, in my community, and where I fit in my workplace, as long as I keep being authentically me and not some fake version or some posed version that I think people want me to be, I'll make the difference that I need to make where I'm supposed to be. Authenticity is I think the driving force here.
Okay.
I like it.
So the one movie that came to mind before we switched over to that topic of the message is The Intern with Robert De Niro.
Oh, I love it.
So the same character, you put him in the same area where there's chaos, people don't like each other, things are falling apart. The CEO of a company is losing her spot to an outsourced CEO so she can run other stuff. Him being the most positive, well-rounded, but he's an older, seasoned guy in that same position as Babe, finds a way to kind of create the order, fix all the ruined relationships or issues that people have by just being an older, more understanding, more wise, more worldly person in order to put that together. Where Babe is kind of like this so innocent thing, put into a world. It's also a world of animals, which maybe make it more sense. But it being like this most innocent thing kind of changes people's perspective of it, just of itself being so innocent. So one of the ideas I have was like Rex is like almost the symbol for the status quo. He's like the strong leader of like kind of in charge of the sheep, in charge of the other animals. He's the one who gets to go to the
he was like the
boss.
judge when
Yes,
they had
yeah.
that court session.
Yep. Yeah. He would hold court kind of thing. And he was like the personification of status quo. Like that stays. He makes sure everything stays that way intentionally, and everyone all agrees that that's the way to go. Once you introduce something that's so innocent and it's starting to change people just being around it, he eventually comes around to it. Especially when he's the things that he's lost, and Babe can kind of bring all that together just from being Babe. You know,
I think like Babe's innocence like broke Rex.
Babe's innocence
Like Rex
brought him
was
around.
like,
Absolutely, yep.
You know, I worked my whole life to be this sheepdog, and Pig comes around and
Yeah.
does it better than me. Like
We don't talk to the sheep.
Yeah.
They're beneath us. You have to, if need be, you bite them
Yeah, you
because they're
force them.
beneath us. We are their superior. Like that was like their quotes. You know,
and he said like, me and you. He's talking to Fly. He's like, we carry the blood of something, some sort of.
I wrote it down too. I thought
Yeah.
I
I
did.
don't know if it was an
It
animal
was
or
some like it was like
breed of dog or something.
Some great
Yeah, like we
We-
carry the blood of so and so. Like
some.
and I
wolf.
saw that destroyed today.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all the pig was doing was being nice. but-
Yeah, the kid did was be nice and the sheep listened. Like
Yeah.
it seemed pretty easy. Like, but I do love Cromwell's character in there being so, and he's like quirky. Like he's making inventions for his fence.
Yeah.
Like there's little things about him that make him super interesting.
I like that.
And he still says nothing. And like I didn't understand the Shrek reference of "That'll do, pig, that'll do" until remember seeing this movie. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's where that's from. And the line is delivered like that's the most emotional line he has, like in this whole movie, because he's so reserved the whole time. And so I'm like, oh yeah, that hits pretty good. And the Ba Ram you, like I don't remember. I heard it referenced in a bunch of it's in like How I Met Your Mother, and there's a couple other shows where people are like Ba Ram you, and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? And I'm like, oh yeah. And as soon as I saw that or watched this movie again, I'm like, that's where it's from. So that was it had moments that I really enjoyed, but I don't know what it was. Maybe just the main character not kind of motivating the conflict or kind of resolving the story, just being something so innocent felt less driven. Maybe I don't know. It's just me personally because everyone seems you guys all.
That's cool though.
It might just because my heart's missing. That's what it is. That might be it.
Well, I love. I mean, I think today more than any of the other pods, you can kind of see, honestly, like how we have different lenses, and it's fine. You know what I mean? It's like it's a different way of looking at it. If we looked at our upbringing and the moments that shape us to be who we are, they're not good or bad, but they just are. And there's times that I think to myself through the podcast, I'm like, I'll hold back from saying it because I'm like, I'm going to tip my hand a little too much with, being in birth order, the youngest of 7, maybe. There's some things that I want to say that I'm like, now I'm going to hold back, but it's like, these are the things that shape, like Ted Lasso, when he says, when you meet someone's parents, you kind of find out why they're so messed up. And so like he's talking, he goes, what about Coach Beard's mom? He goes, full-blown QAnon. and Ted goes, that makes sense. So, I mean, sorry, Mark, who's listening right now. My bad. It's all real. Mulder, you nailed it. The rest of us are lost, and we're plugged into the Matrix. So thanks for holding the line for us.
The sheep look up.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
so I may have missed this, but TinMan, did you have a theme, like a central theme that you thought
just that something of pure innocence is upsetting the status quo, like something that needed to be so pure in order to change the environment,
the way things are.
The way things are. That's what the first chapter is called. The way
things are.
Pork is nice,
sweet meat.
So I have, and I love that we all have different interpretations of the theme, because we hit a streak there where we're kind of on the same same wavelength of what we thought
Yeah.
the theme was. So I'm glad that we have some
A little variety.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It is the spice of life.
So I have kindness allows better understanding and respect between us and our peers. And I made sure I wrote peers and not neighbors or friends, etc., because peers, by definition, is equal status to ourselves. We're not better. We're not more superior or inferior. We're all just part of the same group. So I want to make sure that that's why I wrote peers. So even when Babe learns dark signs of characters and situations, like Rex, the boss, Fly, humans in general, it's met with reflection and eventually acceptance. So I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier with the learning about Fly. And then when Babe learns about the boss, K-Max eventually he says, well, I'm just not going to eat, then I'm done. And then eventually either Babe's met with kindness or after reflection is able to accept or move past that dark thought.
That's good.
The entire movie is filled with Babe's relationship with characters that starts one way and ends in a better state as a result of that kindness. There's multiple tests of kindness, and kindness prevails in just about all of them. Actually, I will say all of them. Toughest one was the cat, the devil cat. And that kindness prevails and results in improved relationships. So the types of relationships I had, like Fly turned out, her first words were, what, pigs are definitely stupid or something like that. And quickly changes where Babe realizes how Fly is affected when she loses her entire litter. And Babe goes up to her and says, "Can I call you Mom?"
Aw,
and
yeah.
realizes what she needs in that moment is someone that she can care for. And
I may or may not have cried. I watched Coco this week too, so it's a very emotional week.
and you had lows, with relationships that ended high because of Babe. When Babe follows the orders on how to sheepdog, and okay, I gotta go bite this sheep's leg, show sheep who's boss. And in kindness, the sheep showed Babe like, "Oh, I was just saying how nice a pig you were," and you go and chomp on this or with your gums or whatever.
Yeah.
and so every time there's a relationship introduced to us, there's some form of kindness shown, mostly by Babe, that results in a better relationship. So as I was mentioning earlier, where the relationships start off low, but they seem to level up in video game terms. They level up as the movie progresses. And it was because I recognize there's several themes. Could be acceptance, could be identity and purpose, but because I saw it so prevalent, I think I mentioned this in previous podcasts. If I can see it throughout the entire movie, I'm more likely to see that as the central theme. So because it starts off showing us relationships and improvements, and even from small to large, so systemic improvement. So you start off at first where it's the first animal that Babe interacts with is Fly. So it's very small. Babe's in her den or whatever in the hay. And so like very intimate change right there, or relationship. And then you move throughout, you get to other animals, you get to the boss, and then eventually you get to society when there's a giant crowd of hundreds of people. And so you have this change that started small, but it got progressively bigger to the end, where this the innocence and respect is shared once the crowd has a different perspective on what this pig can do. Just that prevalence of changed relationships through the entire story is what led to me focusing more on, us and our peers, kindness, respect between us and our peers, and how, or I'm sorry, understanding and respect between us and our peers, and how that's brought about with more kindness.
Yeah.
So that's
about another timely lesson for election season. I mean, it's a salve. Our show is a salve, I tell you. Apply liberally.
So we'll move into, this is part of the upon further review chapter. So I told the guys here to look for all the times that characters had an upon further review moment where they thought one thing, something may have happened, or they reflected a little bit and
that's
came
what
up
you meant
with
by
a
that
different. I knew you were silent for a reason for the last 8 days. But as a character started somewhere, something happened, they reflected, and they ended up in a different position about that topic, about that character, etc. So I was just going to go kind of almost a hot potato. We'll go clockwise. I'll start, but then we'll kind of see what people have, and we'll just keep going until we run out.
Sounds good.
Because I feel like this movie was all about change perceptions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'll start off because I just wrote mine, whatever came to my head. I don't have any organization to these, so I'm going to start with the Fly. Fly versus. That's another story altogether. So Fly versus the sheep, and she says that sheep are inferior, and Babe, when she first tried to sheep pig, goes to advice, and Fly says sheep are stupid and they're inferior to us, and Babe kind of is like, Mom, no, they're not. Like, kind of like scolding her, like, no, they're not inferior to us. And she learns that lesson when Babe is, what situation is Babe in?
There's one where the wolves,
wolves attack.
Wolves attack. There's one where she fights them off. He fights them off. They fight them off. Pig fights them off.
I think it's when, it's when the wolves kill Ma, and Fly has to go there and is forced to communicate with the sheep, and
that's right,
and talk respectfully to them in order to get the right answer to try and save Babe's life. And that was an instance where the relationship improved. You don't always have to see eye to eye, because the narrator even says, it was a stone cold fact, it was a fact of nature that sheep are stupid. And she asks her question, and then the sheep respond, and the narrator says it was a hard fact of nature that wolves are ignorant. So it was like they didn't have to see eye to eye, but if you treat another with respect and kindness, you can still live side by side and do the right thing. And that's when Fly is able to return back and kind of realize, okay, I got further talking than I did with barking and biting these things. So that's what I had to start things off. Fly versus you.
Really good. Now, again, when basketball, or football, when someone gets a sack or does something great, they pound their chest and, yeah, let's go. I feel like doing that when you said that. It's like, real world wise, I'm like, more of that, man. Let's praise that up, and let's reverence that emotion. Let's hold that up as a masculine, feminine, I don't care which way you want to look at it, as a goal of society. We're different in that. Yep, that's right. I'm not going to see eye to eye to everybody. but I can be respectful, and I can demonstrate respect. And in doing that, I can get solutions. Put that up on Capitol Hill, and just keep that sign there. Put Babe on a loop.
Forget the bald eagle. The pig is the new.
I think James is up. Sorry about that, James.
No. I don't know where I'm going. I'm good. This is the one question he sent out, and I was like, huh? And then I got stuck at work.
It's okay if you don't.
No, I will say something
I'll just
right
talk
after
with
Chris
K-Max.
goes.
Want me to go?
Yeah.
All right, I will. Okay, so then I'm going to try to go with something a little bit different. Ferdinand, of all folks.
You son of a gun. No,
Really?
No.
So Ferdinand, a moment. Ferdinand makes a choice upon his lady love becoming dinner instead of Babe, I guess.
Rosanna.
Realizes, yeah, this is too much. I'm getting the heck out. And sometimes that's a reaction, and it's not. Sometimes it's not looking at a valid reaction, but it's like, yeah, this is too much reality here. I see the forest for the trees. I know what's happening here, and it's overwhelming, and I'm getting the hell out. And so, Ferdinand, there's a turning point there. There's a moment where he's like, okay, yep, I see what this is, and I'm out. And he makes a choice, maybe at some cost to him because he's used to the way it's been, but he sees it's changing, and he sees it with his eyes more wide open, and he's like, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So that's another one, Ferdinand.
I'd like to add that I think for me, the more important one is his other turn where he comes back.
Oh, yeah.
And it's almost a form of acceptance. I
like it.
He doesn't have to like it. He knows that they ate.
Yeah.
They're either going to eat him, his lady friend, or his pig friend.
Mm-hmm.
And him coming back kind of just showed his acceptance of what his purpose is.
Really good.
To me, anyway.
No, that makes
good.
perfect
Because
sense.
he definitely left and then he came back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so almost as if to support his friend Babe.
That's right.
In this world.
That's really good.
All right. I'm going to go with Rex. So, like we were talking about earlier, how Rex was like the voice of the status quo, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Holding court. He's kind of like in charge of the animals. And into the end, after getting having to get because he attacks Fly and then bites the boss, and so he kind of gets, instead of getting put down, he gets like the doctor to kind of sedate him. Mm-hmm. So he kind of has to just sit, and he can't do anything. Well, Babe's starting to become this sheepdog, and
Mm-hmm.
then eventually to this contest where what's the farmer's name? Hoggett. Mm-hmm. It's weird. His wife calls him Hoggett too.
Yep. That feels like an old timey type of thing.
I know, right? It'd be weird if my wife called me by my last name. It's like our last name calls me that.
My wife sometimes calls me Henry.
Is it
I
really?
like that.
Okay, Henry.
Well, I know that. I know, like Dion and Don for years. They called each other Rickard. I remember that for
Is
years.
it really?
And years. Yep, for years and years and years. Yep. Playing volleyball with them.
Yeah. So anyway, but then goes to get the code word from the sheep, or from the sheep, to tell him, so that Babe has the trust, that he can gain the trust from the sheep and then pass this thing. So the one thing that dog wanted to do was become the sheep herding champion. Mm-hmm. Never made it. Was injured, or what happened to the ear? Oh, it's because the sheep he was trying to herd drowned, and he almost died. So he lost his hearing. So he couldn't become the contest winner that he wanted to, but goes out of his way to help Babe become that, even after saying everything that we wanted to do is lost because this pig is doing this. Like, what have we become? Mm-hmm. It's all for naught.
Yeah.
And yet now he went out of his way to go get the password, talk to the sheep, when he absolutely did not think sheep were people to be discussing anything with, mm-hmm. and then to come back just to give Babe the password to get them to convince the sheep, and then for Hoggett to be kind of vindicated amongst all the jeers.
Yeah.
So I feel like you covered 2 in 1 here.
Okay.
Because
I just started and couldn't stop.
Very good shot. Very good shot.
Because to me, Rex versus sheep was one in itself.
Yeah.
Because of the sheep, he lost his future.
Oh,
and
yeah.
when he's when he makes a decision to help Babe by talking to the sheep, he admits, like, you're gonna have to speak up. I don't hear so well. Like
Yeah.
that's him getting past. Because of you guys, I can't do anything. It's like I don't have to bring that up. I could, I don't hear so well. Can you please speak up?
Yeah.
I think was his version of seeing things from a different perspective to say, my time's done, but I can still do this for the boss and help the pig
Yeah.
become
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
I thought that was beautiful, by the way.
Voiced by Hugo Weaving.
Oh, really?
Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the second one I thought you covered was
him
Rex
and Babe.
versus Pig.
Yeah. Yep.
And for the exact reasons you say you do. So all
Yeah.
They're really good. I
From
thought
the
it was
hip.
really-
That one's from the hip.
I'm going to stay with Rex though, and I'm going to say Babe versus Rex.
Oh.
Because all Babe ever saw from Rex for the first half of the movie was hardness and strictness, and she wanted to get to know Rex, or like try to talk to Rex, because was it she even tells Fine, like, hey, I worked with the sheep, I spoke
Yeah.
with kindness there, maybe if I just spoke to Rex. She's like, no, I'll do that. But
I think Rex attacks Babe too, but he's on a chain, so he like stops.
yeah,
And
Babe tries to talk.
Yeah, takes off. Yeah.
And so Babe realized the changed perception here was that Babe was told the story of what happened to Rex. We find out at the same time that, Rex was trying to help the sheep. And obviously he didn't know how to speak to the sheep. But because they couldn't be helped, he ended up basically sacrificing his future and his hearing in vain. And so with Babe knowing that, kind of understood a little bit better, like that's why Rex acts the way he does. That's why he hates sheep. That's why probably Fly hates the sheep and sees them as inferior. So there's a better understanding of Rex from there. And there,
Okay.
it's not, it's like, okay, Rex, you're part of this group. You're not above or below. You're with us. Like you feel a little bit more connected to Rex at that point.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay, Max.
I got a few left here. I want to go. I'm going to take a really obvious one because it's just my wheelhouse. The audience at the competition. Upon further review, they are just sickening, and they are just so predictably gross in their mockery and jeering and laughter at this
Obnoxiously.
and Hoggett and this guy. Oh, what a mockery! Just almost pretty much galvanizing Rex's viewpoint and stuff of this guy. This is a dignified dogs of old with the blood of this and that. I'll compete here. Now you're walking this pig out. It's a mockery. Them all laughing at. And all the pig's doing is just doing what he does. Or she does. The pig is just doing what the pig does. And there go my notes. Just being authentically himself or herself. And we're a results organization. We're a results society. We can feel good and we can say this smile changed the world, or we lit a light and we bought the world a Coke and we all sing in harmony. But results sometimes carry the day. Results sometimes make the change. And Babe brought it home. Babe, through the help of Rex, the communication, the guidance of Hoggett, and but Babe performed, got it done, won the competition, and every mouth was agape, and they were in awe, and they sang the praises of Babe because of the result. And it's kind of gross that it takes a trophy win or victory for some people to see the value in authenticity and kindness. But sadly, that is what transformed the audience from a jeering mob of idiots to of which I am very much a member of very often until I see the results. And I'm like, yay, this was perfect. I knew it all along. And I was probably the one yelling and jeering the most. And we can put this metaphor anywhere. But I think that, that transaction, that transformation, not transaction, of the crowd is as telling as any in the story that's being told in Babe, because they had a perception of Babe and they instantly saw his quality. They might not have known that he achieved this just by being kind and authentically himself, but as the audience, we know that. And so when they cheer for Babe, it's a cheer for kindness and authenticity. To me, that's where the big victory is. That's where the big yummiest of payoffs is you don't even know this, but you're cheering doing things the right way. You're cheering. I could go with all kind of sports metaphors, but you're cheering it being done the right way instead of cheating. You're cheering not doing Spygate or Deflategate or whatever way. You're cheering a Bills Super Bowl win eventually, doing it the right way, doing your push-ups, saying your prayers, eating your Wheaties, doing things the right way. And I thought that was a transformation. Upon further review, they took a look, they seen Babe differently, and then they celebrated him instead of mocked him.
And I mentioned
excuse me,
before, I thought that was important because it represented the bigger change. You change the minds of hundreds of people in one performance rather than a one-on-one change that we saw throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I liked the way he stood by Babe that entire time too. Like, nope, I feel absolutely comfortable. I'm going to argue for my spot, and I'm going to go out there just as stoic as he was throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
and just trusted that it was going to work out.
He did play that perfectly,
and it might not have if all the little pieces didn't fall into place, and Rex, giving the pass and. But another character was the wife, Esme Hoggett.
Spanish.
Spanish, yeah.
It's me.
It's me. It's me Hoggett, who's like, how much trouble can he get in? I'm going to be gone just 3 days. So she's off on some regional secretary, something or other job she has.
Country woman something.
She's the regional country woman something.
I was trying to read, we see her in the bus, and I was trying to read they have the logo on the back window, but it's backwards. So it was like CWG were the letters, but it was like country women's something.
Yeah, we'll find it.
Group,
I got some
group maybe.
But she knows that their husband's up to some silliness. I think she describes it as, and like he's kind of odd, has his little tinkerings, his oddness about him, and for him being like such a straight-laced stoic, character, he does have little quirks to him that
love that
are like a little hidden, and he does let it out when he's dancing in front of Babe. That few moments of him like really taking the wall down, and but the wife on this trip, they turned the show on, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Hoggett! They said Hoggett. Like, I don't think he said Hoggett. I don't think that's what he said. Like, no, clear as day. He's got a dog named Pig." And she's trying to block everyone, trying to bring cards out, and she starts crying. I think she passes out. She passes out during it, and then finds out that he had used the pig to win the whole competition. The competition that he's been trying to win with his other dogs, and apparently it's a big deal.
Like her embracing that.
Yeah, her like crying and accepting it after the fact. Also, I looked up they were descendants. We carry the bloodline of the ancient Bahu, and I tried to find what Bahu, it's spelled Bahou, what it was, and there's a lot of Reddits on it, but no like answers to what great descended sheepdog Bahu is. I can't find out.
Just Rex created his own.
He's got his own
lineage.
Yeah, he's got some great. Maybe it's Australian something. I know the movie was filmed in Australia. An Australian sheepdog.
All right.
Great Australian sheepdog.
I'm gonna go with You versus Fly.
Me?
We had fly
Me
versus you.
Fly?
I am you, pig. So the first one I mentioned was fly versus you, but we also have you versus fly. Well, it's kind of in the same vein, I guess. So I'm going to do two for one special here, because, like I said before, the narrator tells us that they still don't have to get along, but you can at least treat each other with respect. So the you calm down when the wolf talks to her, and then when there's pleases and other kind words mentioned when fly's talking. So then the you respond back in kindness and kind of realize, like, hey, they can talk nicely, and we'll respond back as we're treated, basically. And even as fly leaves, like, thank you, and leaves, and the one's like, pleasure talking to you. Like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
But I'll say, because a lot of these we've actually already discussed. Farmers versus technology.
Oh,
They get
fax machine.
they get the present for Christmas. They're like, what is it? They're like, it's a fax machine. Like, surely you could use this instead. Like all grandparents. Oh, no, you need this.
yeah.
Trying to give the gift right back.
I'm glad it doesn't just happen in my house. Like that in my family.
Surely you need this.
Oh, you could use this toaster oven.
But by the end of the movie, that's what gets Hoggett into the competition, because the way that the movie plays out, it seems like there's a small time lapse when Babe gets to the farm, but after that, TinMan had the bit about because pigs age so rapidly, they had to use, would you say 42?
I thought it was like 42 different pigs.
No way.
Because of the age that
they could use one every 3 days. They had to change out the
kidding.
pig.
So with that little tidbit there, the timeline of the movie, you're gonna love this, K-Max.
Okay.
Is set around Christmas. They have Christmas dinner, but there's no other time lapse. Everything else stays in place. So Hoggett has the bandage on his hand for the rest of the movie. Fly has the bandage on her paw or leg from her fight with Rex. Babe has the Band-Aid, and the competition is mere days after Christmas, based on everything that we're shown. So it's kind of funny that it takes place so much around Christmas, but it's not like an explicit part of it.
Is that a thing, like a regional thing, where they don't just have like expressed Christmas decor and stuff? Or like, is Christmas not a thing in Australia? Like, not a big thing?
That's a good question.
I never thought about it.
It's interesting.
I've never spent Christmas anywhere else. So
Right.
I know how it is Western New York, but anywhere else I have no idea.
Right. But the technology, upon further review, realized that it was a crucial part of getting
What a
to the
great
competition.
Christmas movie this was.
There we
Huh?
go.
What a great Christmas movie this was.
I'm ready. I'm ready. You don't think I'm ready because I'm tired, but I'm ready.
Get on.
I'm ready.
It fits your. What are you talking about? This fits your
Criteria.
criteria pretty close. I don't know.
You don't know my criteria. You will, though. You will. It's wonderful. My criteria is wonderful. You've never seen anything like it.
It's the greatest.
I'm
it's the
told
greatest
my people
criteria
listen. My
ever.
people are telling me my criteria is the best. You're gonna love it. I was telling someone, very smart people. I was telling them my criteria is unmatched. Their people looked at it. They didn't even see it before, and it's their job. And I came up with this, and they said this criteria for a Christmas movie
got
is
my vote.
great. That's not even a Trump. That's just me. That's just me how passionate I am about Christmas movies. I am the most unconfident human being male in the history of the world until it comes to this. Because, folks, I know what a Christmas movie is, and you're going to find out. That's not true. That's not true. It's going to be fun, though.
I love how we've
Being a
sprinkled
little
in.
cutthroat.
I feel like it might be a 4-hour-long episode. I don't know. But we've been kind of sprinkling hints about how this episode will be. Watch is the tamest episode. We all agree on everything.
I know, right.
I will actively go against that.
I already know you will.
Well, the thing is, you're going to get actively against also, though.
Yes. And by the end of it, I know that Teeth will be a Christmas movie. I'm gonna put the basic, you know what I mean, the lowest common
Oh
denominator.
my gosh, that should have been the experimental.
I'm gonna put it right out
Teeth
there.
is very.
That's
Set in
a
stone.
run of the mill.
It's just
Teeth all the time.
like garden variety.
Already, yeah.
Garden variety. And by the way, I'm
you
out.
didn't grow up with teeth?
Cliche.
I'm out as far as any more of these at the further review characters.
Okay.
I was gonna just say,
TinMan, do you have
click,
any others?
click, click, click.
Give me here. Just clear this up in post. Nope, I got nothing.
Okay. Some of the stuff we already did, so I'll just kind of run through the rest of the list. I think I wrote down like 18 different like conflicts here or whatever. I had Hoggett versus Babe when he thought that Babe killed the sheep. And he was, to me, the connection was, well, that's a dog and, not a wolf at this point because he's Hoggett. But
He was trying to train the pig to see if he could sheepdog.
that's what I mean. It's like, trained it wrong.
Yep.
Trained it to kill the sheep, I guess. So here's the penalty, and it's probably a little bit on me. This is going to hurt too, but here we go. And which is, he has he's pointing the gun, his fingers on the trigger, but you can see that debate in his head going on. Kind of, you don't know exactly what he's thinking, but you can tell that he doesn't think it's completely right that he's killing the pig. And then when, Esme comes back and she's like, oh, there's, the other family lost 6 sheep this morning because of wild dogs.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah, that sounds more believable than what I thought.
Yeah. It's cool that they were able to show that too, and not even say it. No big giant monologue.
Yeah,
in his
because he's
head.
just holding his gun.
Yeah.
Oh, and she's like, "What are you doing with that gun?" Oh, nothing.
I happen to think that's amazing filmmaking when someone can show it and not have to tell it or narrate it.
I'd love that. There's a few movies where they like, and here's a stupid example. Did you ever see the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yeah. Jolie and Brad Pitt?
where they're in like couples therapy.
Yeah.
And they'll ask them questions and they're like, they just give like little, but it's all like body language stuff the whole time. I'm like, that's a married couple.
And chemistry. Yeah, that's for sure. I like that.
I also had Babe versus Hoggett. This kind of plays into Babe versus Cat as well. Because you got...
I'm thinking, no, go ahead.
Okay. The, I don't, the cat doesn't have that upon further review moment.
Of course not.
It's a devil cat.
Well, I mean, it may is just more of a evil upon further review. Like, I'm going to have to do this thing even harder.
Seriously, like cats.
Like, I can't just cut this thing. I'm going to have to, fire my deep shots at it.
Yeah.
Kill
as
it from
soon as he
within.
got Babe out of the house, went right back to that warm spot. You're like, freaking cat.
Yeah.
That was your whole plan the whole time, wasn't it? Freaking.
But the thing that it brought out was like, oh yeah, the boss eats pigs too. That's what a pig's purpose is. And so that became Babe's perception of the boss was, oh, well, he's only keeping me around so that he can eat me later. Huh. And then that changes when Babe's being fed by the boss. And whether or not that's Babe's acceptance of her eventual fate, or if it's just being comforted by even if he does it, the boss, I can tell, cares for me right now because he's doing this silly dance here.
Yeah, and then leaves right by the end of the dance. He looks down, the pig's gone.
Yeah,
because it went right to the food.
Gotta go eat. Yeah.
What a
Nice.
great scene.
Yeah.
What a great scene.
We had talked about Babe versus Fly at the beginning.
Yep,
You know, first thing the Fly says, pigs are definitely stupid. He's like, no, I'm not. Or she, whatever. Like, excuse me, no, I'm not. We had farm versus pig. Like the entire farm as a whole was, this is how things are. This is the order of things. You know, the pig's place is underneath the wagon. You know, the cows do this, the cat does that, and that's the way things are. And, of course, upon further review, no, you can change it up a little bit, and things don't have to be exactly
Only
that.
dogs and cats in the house.
Right.
And then pigs allowed.
Yeah, pigs allowed.
He even like stops too because he calls Babe to go in. Babe stops, looks at him
on.
like, "Go on in."
Yep. Kind of a, I guess, an extension of Hoggett, but pig versus humans, I guess. Just knowing that they eat pigs, and that's what pigs' purpose is to humans. I think is just again that perception. It's at least rounded a little bit when Hoggett dances for Babe and realizes, well, there's a good side too. You know, if that does happen, at least I know that this human can treat differently.
Yeah.
And that they're not all the same, I guess. So seeing this movie with an older lens, I'm a big fan of the Airplane movie. And I was reminded of the one scene where there's two brothers sitting next to each other and they're talking and the stewardess can't understand them. So she goes to the old lady and she's like, does anyone speak jive? And the old lady translates what these brothers are saying. And so I started cracking up, you know, just by myself watching it when at the end, Babe goes up to the competition sheep. And he's like, oh, good morning. Weather's been bad, huh? And the sheep turns around, of course, is a black sheep. And just like doesn't understand what Babe's saying. So like immediately I thought of the scene from Airplane. Like, hey, does anyone speak jive? So Rex goes and finds the old woman that can.
Found someone.
So that was one of my others, the competition sheep versus Babe. And that, you know, oh, here's just another whoever, and then comes in with the password the only sheep know. It's, oh, okay, you know, there's someone that can be kind at these things. Kind of the same lesson that the other sheep learned, I guess. I had a couple others that are kind of the same, and like I said, we already talked about them. So Babe versus the farm, learning about a pig's purpose on the farm and kind of changing that perception. I had the Judge versus Hoggett, where the judge, you could tell he viewed this as like, there's nothing stopping me from kicking you out, but
other than shame,
and
like tradition,
like I'm really upset with you. Like, two, you could just see it. Again, another. I thought he did a pretty good performance as well, as kind of like a final. If you had to personify like a final person to turn, I guess, to change their stance.
Last judge.
It was that last judge.
Holding up the 10.
Yeah, because you could see him kind of like write it, and you know, if you could narrate his thoughts, it was like, I can't believe I'm doing this, but it's 100. You know.
Yeah.
So just that change right there, whereas he could have been a jerk and just put like, no, it's a 0. It's still a 0, everybody. You know? But he Pig did nothing wrong. It's 100. So I thought that was to him admit that it was perfect. Like there's no higher score than 100, and so for him to admit that this thing that he thought was a terrible thing for the sport was actually a perfect performance. I thought that was a pretty cool change that was shown.
Yeah, you're right. The whole thing is all change perception.
Yeah.
Hey, good job. Hey, good pick. Good pick. Huh.
Duck versus pig. So in the beginning, Ferdinand was kind of
that's
using
right.
Babe. Hey,
I wrote a note about
go
that.
inside.
Yeah, I
and
need to
get that.
How did I
clock for
have
me.
it written funny too? How did I write it? Duck clock heist. That's right.
Yeah.
But you could, maybe out of fear for himself, but he was seeing how this innocent little pig was struggling to do this thing for him.
Yeah, this task is just
And he was definitely using the pig too. Like, well, I don't want to get hit by that cat, so you go do it, and hopefully something will happen. But he's seeing the pig struggle. And he's like, "Oh, fine, I'll do it." And goes in there, and the pig's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you could do this?" He's like, "I could do it. I could do it." And then, like I said, for him to come back at the end, almost as if to just support Babe through everything, I thought was a pretty cool perception change. Because for him to leave was not selfish thing, but like a driven motive for leaving. So well, I don't want to be Ian, but I guess we'd all leave if that were our fate. But
yeah, he's leaving because he's trying to be the rooster, so he has a purpose of not to be eaten,
other than being eaten.
And then now that they got a clock, he's got to get rid of the clock.
Yeah. So for him to come back with no other purpose
Yeah.
is kind of him accepting, but also being there for Babe. It seemed anyway, because he was he would be he was hiding. After he got in trouble with the cat, he was hiding from everyone, and he saw Babe, and they would speak. They're like, "Okay." Oh, Babe was like, "I'm not supposed to." Oh. And they're like, "You never saw me here," and Babe was like, "You never saw me." They kind of so they each had kind of an understanding of one another. They're you might say that they're each other's like best friends. And I think that did it for all my upon further review relationships.
It's a lot.
That was a lot of them.
Yeah,
like I said, it was I thought I noticed that through the entire movie, and it just got bigger and bigger in scale, I felt. So we'll move into any other thoughts on those change perceptions?
I think we exhausted.
I think it's real cool.
Pretty
though,
extensive.
that we can go that long on the characters that all. I mean, you're seeing different levels of change, like some lesser characters who the transaction wasn't as grandiose, but it was still a change. And I'm glad that the filmmakers let you see that, because if you're closer to acceptance and change, and you make the change, maybe it's not as celebrated as someone who is the big villain, who makes the huge change and is Ebenezer on Christmas morning. Wow, we all know who that is. Some of these little characters are making changes too, and that's just as noteworthy to note. And so it's kind of cool that we can point to all these different minor characters, you might say, and see all their changes. They're all affected too. Again, by what? By any big heroic acts or these huge character attributes, mainly by common kindness and authenticity. Like I'm going to keep being who I'm going to be. And it might look naive. And that's why I say Forrest Gump sometimes. It's almost like Forrest made all these huge positive changes in his movie and, met presidents and all these things and did all these amazing things. Well, how did he do it? He was slow. He was, of modest upbringing. He just stuck to being himself, who he was. Just stuck to his guns. Anyway, so, yeah.
Is he smart or is he like me?
Yeah.
TinMan, tell me your favorite scenes. You're like the end credits.
I did think that was a good yummy payoff though for the farmer to go through with having Babe in the competition and then winning it and winning everybody over. Like the culmination of the entirety of the movie kind of led to that moment, and I thought it was like a good payoff for everything that we went through in the story. And then to have the farmer actually give an affirmation like, that'll do, pig. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't a huge, you're the greatest thing ever. It wasn't a huge, big thing, but for that character, that was a perfect, just the right amount of affirmation that, showed the appreciation for Babe. So I thought it was within character, well done, and a perfect culmination to everything in the story that we had so far. Mm-hmm. I other moments I thought were pretty cool, but were not as great as that one moment. And I thought everything led to that one big moment. It was like, okay, that's the payoff I was hoping for.
That's I think that's the biggest moment I get when it comes to movies that get to me. Mm-hmm. Like Coco, I mentioned this one being another one of those. But that moment right there is one of them. And I think it's because it's so encompassing that all these little relationships and little changes in attitude and it being caused by kindness and trying to do the right thing culminated in this giant ovation. So especially everyone's cheering when he closes the gate, but it's that final turn when the judge holds up the 100 and it feels like another wave of energy hits the crowd and hits the audio in the movie, where it's like a thunderous ovation, and that part gets me a lot of times that I view the movie. Just that pure, not joy, but just positivity, I guess, where it's everyone is on the same page, everyone can see that this pig can accomplish that the farmer wasn't just crazy, and that, I don't know, it was just everything coming together for that final moment right there.
It's almost like a receipt. It's like a receipt. Did the transaction happen? Where's my proof? There it is.
Yeah.
Boom. The outpouring of love and respect and adoration.
I like that.
Were there any other favorite scenes, or not as favorite as that one?
I don't think anything's going to be as favorite. There were some fun moments throughout it. The duck clock heist.
Yeah, yep.
I love the rooster's voice. Hey, get out of here.
Yeah.
He's it's a rooster, and he's, so just the idea of the rooster and a bunch of chickens, he's the top guy there, and for him to have such a dinky little voice. K-Max then.
I like. There's three. My number one was what James just said. What a great moment! Wonderful, wonderful moment. Wonderful payoff. My second one was the whimsical moment of dancing and singing to comfort Babe by Hoggett. It was beautiful. One of my favorite scenes in film, I think. Upon further review, I don't think it stuck with me like it stuck with me now, being probably closer to the age of Hoggett now than when I was, beautiful, though. I mean, when you can, sometimes with the animals, you can be a little more open that way. I have a lot of pets, so I find myself singing and talking with them and being silly, and I make stupid voices for all of them, and my kids think it's hilarious. I find myself in public, if my dogs are with me, making voices, and people looking, like other dog owners are like, oh yeah, if you don't make voices, are you really a dog dad? So seeing him do that was just pure joy to me. When I see people acting a little bit silly out of their comfort zone, almost a little out of character on the joyful side, I just want to celebrate with them and pray. I want to praise God when I see people do that, because I'm like, there's the joy we're looking for. That's it. Even if it's just a stranger, I see a stranger outside waiting with their kid when it's cold out, driving down to work, and I see a parent that I don't normally see with the kid. Maybe they got a blanket over their kid or something, and I'm like, you get it. That's it. Way to go. Next one, I like to, I guess, echo that, because that was one of mine as well. But you can see you talked about the acting of Cromwell, and his eyes just light up when he's like, hey, I'm in this mood, and his eyes are just wide open, smiling at the pig as he's dancing, and they did that almost borderline awkward, he jumps and it's slow motion and then he lands
So like it's just such a like a pure moment, I guess. And to think that it was to try and cheer up this pig that's been nothing but kind and loyal to the boss. And
I love that message.
There's a lot of comedy in that too. He like lands and he looks around, like all the animals are just staring at him through the
Windows and whatnot. Like, what the hell what are we seeing?
What
here?
did we just watch? And I thought that echoed Babe's change in attitude. Well, not attitude. Change perception of Fly towards the beginning, where he was told that, or he found out that Fly brutalized the sheep in order to correctly herd them, and Babe's just kind of laying low. And in the face of this bad news, is shown love by that very source that he was told ill of, and that gets Babe out of the funk to see that yes, there may be that dark side, but I'm being shown love by that same character, and that gets Babe out of the funk. So that happened with Fly in the beginning. You know, the Fly goes over and starts licking Babe's face, and you hear Babe kind of giggle and get back up. So it's kind of the same thing that happened here, where Babe learns that the boss eats pigs, and so do all other humans, and that's the pig's purpose. But while dealing with that bad news, is shown love by Hoggett, and that gets the pig out of her funk, and she goes and starts to eat again.
I love it.
So you said you had
It's
others?
beautiful. Well, I mean, and again, I don't know if I think we've done a good job today, guys, because I feel like everything I have has been at very least touched on. But like one, I like the transformation of is it Max? Is that the dog's name? Rex. Of Rex. With the when he kind of swallows his pride, and it's funny that what it took for him to slow down, to be chained to the house, to be drugged, to actually simmer down and gain perspective through non-traditional means. He was forced to gain perspective.
How about this gain perspective? When he was watching, I can't remember which incident it was. I think it was when they thought Babe killed the sheep. Rex was under the wagon, which is where the pig's place is. Mm-hmm. In terms of the farm, that's where the pig is supposed to be, is under the wagon. And that's where he was watching from.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
So I really love that the transaction there that's made there, where he just kind of he's forced to gain perspective, and there's a lesson there. I like the lesson in a movie where sometimes in the most uncomfortable, most inconvenient places of not our choosing, we do the most learning, we do the most growing. When it's most inconvenient and when it's most hard or difficult, or when we're put in an uncomfortable place where we wouldn't desire to be, you grow and you learn the most.
Like the meme from Bird Box where the guy's holding open their eyes and watching.
Right. And it's such it's almost a scriptural lesson. I hate to be preachy, but it's like, if I want you to grow, sometimes you got to be pushed out of your comfort zone. And as a teacher, I say that too. You have to be wrong sometimes. If you're going to learn, you have to fail and get it wrong sometimes. If you want to gain muscle, you have to hurt and you have to fail. You can't just, this is easy. It was an easy lift. You're not going to get any bigger or get any gains. You have to be pushed out of your comfort zone a little bit. And there's wonderful lessons all over the place with that, with Rex, his character. Because I think we can all admit, he's probably better off for it by the end of the movie. He's a better person. He's a better dog. He's more well-rounded. He understands more.
Yeah.
He's more able to love and to be loved, probably. He's more able to show grace and probably receive grace. It's kind of cool seeing that.
Well, yeah, at the end, he's
making
and
out.
Flyer just making out. They didn't care who was watching.
Yep.
Yeah, so there was a relationship issue that wasn't resolved until just now.
That's right.
And they can get it on again. Because they
Yes.
lost all their kids in the beginning.
And
That's right.
You mentioned Rex was
Certain style, by the way.
a better character for it, but everyone that had interactions with Babe was a better character
That's right.
for it.
Yes.
Maybe not Ma, but everyone else better.
No, she was better.
She's dead, but she was better.
The
before
cat,
she died.
the cat was the only one, the evil one.
Again, one more plug for Forrest Gump before I hang up my mic for the evening. It's like when seen through the eyes of Forrest Gump. You know what I mean? Like about perspective.
Yeah.
Were there any other favorite scenes?
That's it for me.
Okay. I've only got one more to add because both of you took, I had other scenes here, but both of those were spot on. The other one I had was the low point when the cat had its conversation with Babe, and
Sickening.
Storytelling wise, I do like when something is able to get at you though and get under your skin, like that cat was able to get under our skin, and just the way it was portrayed. Like I said, the eyes were hidden in the shadows, but then like the one was like a velociraptor eye lit by the fire. Oh, yeah. Like just that image of this cat, and it was like smoky colored with the stray whiskers. Also so kind of associated with fire, like subconsciously like evil. And fire smoke with the color of its fur. And
You know what's interesting? The cat also refers to the farmer as the boss's husband.
would you let me talk? Right here. Right here on my notes.
Voz is showing James his notes where it was, and I love it.
So, yeah. Everyone else refers to Hoggett as the boss, but the cat refers to Hoggett as the boss's husband. So, you guys didn't see, but TinMan read all my notes.
It's right here on my notes. It's right here.
I saw you scribble it like 2 seconds ago.
Boss's husband.
This is my favorite time to be alive.
But this was also the biggest test of Babe's kindness. The cat revealed what the pig's purpose was, and there's no one else to tell her otherwise. And she even went to Fly, and Fly told her the truth. And yes, even the boss eats pigs. And so you hit the ultimate low for Babe, because Babe's just acting out of kindness and authenticity, and then is told, oh yeah, don't worry, I mean you're just here so that they can have a meal on Christmas or whatever, once you're big enough, and that's the only reason you're still alive. And so to be hit with that type of news when all you're ever doing is treating other characters with respect and kindness, it hits pretty hard. But the reward of that, of persevering through that, is seeing Hoggett do his little jig there and get that personal of a comfort with the boss. No one else gets that. Even the sheepdogs just get a little rub behind the ears, just 1-2 scratch and that's it. Good job, dog. Little scratch and that's it. Babe gets a full, you're sitting on my lap, I'm hand feeding you, or giving you a bottle, and I'm doing a dance for you, singing to you, like this ultimate level of intimacy and comfort from the boss himself is bestowed upon you because you persevered or are trying to persevere through this terrible time. So I thought that was one of my scenes too. So it was, mostly I guess it's not just one scene, but it's just the cat delivering everything and how the cat's portrayed to the recovery from that moment leading into the competition right after.
So. It's nice filmmaking to have that deep emotion and all of that.
Yeah.
Remind me of Scar. when Simba returns to the Pride Lands, when Scar's kind of in the shadows, and you just see the green of his eyes, and then that's what that scene reminded me of a little bit. Is Scar?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was because that scene made me feel the same way. I felt the same box of emotions opened.
Well, like I feel like they made you question your identity and your existence. So like Scar, like, oh, people are going to be pretty mad when they find out you killed your dad.
That's right.
And then,
They don't know. I mean, just really
So those were my favorite scenes.
excellent.
So I mean, I just the only thing left to do is just kind of relate this back to change perceptions, and I've got a little thing written up. So I wrote that it's often difficult to see things from another perspective if you don't approach things and people with kindness and respect. Again, a couple things lacking in today's society, perhaps. Maybe because we are 3 servants of the public. We got a teacher, we've got a nurse, and we've got a police officer, lieutenant. And so maybe we're a little bit blind to the idea that not everyone values kindness or being a good person in the same way. But these are still lessons most adults need to learn from in this children's story. Babe breaks down boundaries with each character and preconceived identities that each of them has, simply by being honest, open, and kind. So that's how I relate this back to upon
good.
further review.
Sounds good.
Do you guys have any other additions?
I have a little.
Yeah.
I have a little something written here.
I can't wait to hear TinMan's written down conclusion.
I got it. It's ready.
Yes, here we go.
It's 2 words.
It's 3
and
words.
I can't say them. Yeah.
Starts with bite. Anyway, perspective is the way, and this is not original thought. This is just taken partly from a poem and partly from a dictionary. Perspective is the way we view and interpret the world around us. It shapes our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and can greatly impact our overall well-being. By learning to shift our perspective, we can gain insights and find creative solutions to life's challenges.
Nice.
I think that's a good little bit of advice right there.
If you're if you're pure and innocent, everything just works out for your well-being. No, I'm just kidding. Bahram you.
Also good.
What was funny is when I was a kid, you hear things, and if you don't understand it, you just keep listening, you just kind of throw it away. But I appreciate the play on words with you during the movie. now that I see the subtitles, I'm like, oh yeah, EWE. I am you, pig.
Babe was awesome.
I like going through the podcast afterwards because I usually like the movies a little better after talking about it.
Yeah.
Not this one. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, that could be your little bit here. Did anything change after we discussed it?
There's always more to take after hearing the discussion between us, and I do feel like I appreciate it more as a movie, but I still have that little that reserve that didn't push it to the next level because of I felt like the driving factor of the character, which it's just me. Which I'm not going to be apologetic about.
And I learned a lot from that perspective. Because I think to myself, what is there, what isn't there, that gives that. And I try to understand that perspective. Instead of just saying, well, I think that's not right. You know what I mean? It's like, I think that is valid. And I don't know why it is because I have my own, and I'm like, that's certainly not mine, but I want to find out why that is that way.
And I can just tell you, I'm watching it and I go, I feel this way, but I'm not sure why I feel this way.
Yeah.
And so just listening to everybody talk, I'm like, I'm starting to get a better picture, but it's not a great picture.
It's, you know what, the thing is, though, I think a lot of people in reality, not just in the podcast world, will never be vulnerable to say that and say, I have a way that fits, but doesn't agree with what you have to say. Because it takes bravery and it also takes resolve. Sometimes you got to say, this is how I see it. I'm not sorry. This is how I see it.
Yeah.
Because if you can't acknowledge that anyone, any three of us here and any one of the billions of us on this planet can't say that, you can't begin to have the conversation then.
Right. Because
Can't
I'm
say
willing to be wrong
Sure.
upon further review. I'm willing to go, I don't know why, or this makes me feel this way, but how does it make you guys feel? Because
Yeah.
if it makes you guys feel a different way because of these reasons, maybe that'll open a spot in my mind and go, you know what, I overlooked that completely. And that kind of changed my perspective on it. I will say I like the movie. I just talking about it, I do like it a little bit more, but I do feel like it lacks in that.
I think sometimes
what it poses in that movie, The Intern, that's where it feels like, at least for me, because Babe being a pure character, but it doesn't quite make the choices to do good or wrong. It just is good. I don't know.
yeah.
I think the one choice that does stand out is when Fly says, you know, bite them if you have to, and Babe goes out there and tries to bite the sheep, and it's probably the only instance where Babe makes a bad choice.
Yeah, yep. Because then realizes it's not working, and that's not who they
that's
are.
not who I am, and that's not what should be done.
Because he doesn't like she doesn't like the negative impact either. He's like, I just told him you were a good one. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Right.
Yeah, like totally folds after. Yeah, I that's what I was told.
I like how the sheep that was bit was like, and then they reveal like, hey, you got any teeth in there?
Yeah.
So, our next movie,
Oh, next on the list.
Mamma Mia.
Ah!
Yeah.
Well, we had decided that
That's right.
the last
That's right. I
episode.
totally forgot.
And just because I'm like
You
this,
see my reaction over there.
just because I'm like this, I made myself watch Love Actually, because that was the other one that was on
right.
the. So I have thoughts about that one, but I can circle back around to it for our Christmas episode, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Here's the thing. Gosh help me. This has been a wonderful palate cleanse though from October and all the heavy.
Yeah, from all the nightmares.
But they're great.
Frickin',
They were great. But
Can
it's
I
just
relive
such a-
childhood drama?
I just
childhood trauma, please.
Yes, I just feel so much better after these. I feel better about my life when I go home. I was listening to the last podcast at the gym, and I just had a smile on my face and said, "Well, this is new."
yeah.
But I don't know if I want to. Maybe I'll save it for Mamma Mia. I'll give my brief thoughts on Love Actually just as a bonus.
Yeah.
Upon further review. But Mamma Mia is what we agreed on.
And I'm
Right.
going to watch Love Actually again also so I can...
What's it on? Is it on anything? Like,
It is on something.
you got it on DVD. Just play it on DVD.
My wife has it on DVD. I think.
I love
It's not mine.
when I was
That's my
listening to that
wife's.
one and heard Foz talk about it, he goes, and I just, by rule, if she's watching something, like, oh, what kind of garbage are we watching? It was like the most Foz thing ever. I said, that is so awesome.
What is this BS?
Yes, you're watching.
It's the Hallmark Channel.
It's it's just the perfect pairing because I can see Steph's reaction like, okay.
It's like, it could be like the Nativity or something. I'm like, what is this BS?
It's garbage. Hallmark created holiday. It's the nativity. Great times,
All
man.
right.
Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yep.
Don't
Thanksgiving's
forget
coming up.
Don't forget to check out. Now, again, I've been saying giveaway, and it's coming, boy. It's coming. Crazy times these days with the election and things like that. But that said, make sure you check out the Instagram.
Check out the
Depth
Instagram.
Perception Movie Podcast. Get on there. Check it out. If you do look at it, promises, but there'll be a giveaway. Dinner and a movie. Gift card for some
Dinner and a movie.
food and gift card for, 1.5 tickets to a movie. So
It's depth perception, not death perception.
not depth perception and not just depth perception, but depth perception movie podcast on Instagram. Check it out. Rules will be there. Rules are something like this. You'll just have to follow us. I know we're asking a lot. Like us, like the post, and tag 3 people in it. What does that do? What are you doing? What are you trying to get out of me? Well, we're trying to get the word out about the podcast. You're enjoying the show. You're listening to it. We got you. We want more. You're enjoying it. Our feedback has been outstanding, and we can't thank you guys enough. The amount of production and pre-production and things that Voz puts into it, the time of these people here. We love doing it, but we love doing it as much as you guys love listening to it and responding. So we just want more of that dialogue. We want the conversation to expand, and let's all gain a little perspective. Let's all smile a little bit more, laugh a little more, and have some fun. What's wrong with fun? Don't you like fun?
What's wrong with you?
Voz like fun.
Voz like fun? I know Tin like fun. Max like fun. And second place is a ham. So that's all I have.
I'm aiming for second place.
We named the ham Babe.
I'll tag.
Second place, Babe. Good gravy.
Was that on purpose, by the way? That you watch Babe and you give away a ham?
No! Oh my goodness.
Yes.
This is worse than the last one. Mom,
do,
I promise
pig.
you, I
That'll
didn't mean
do.
to be so cruel. Jeepers creepers. I'm undoing so much good. One fell swoop. Yes. And we're giving away ham.
Babe has a purpose. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Pig is nice, sweet meat.
Sweet meat.